For practice today, we will begin by sitting at the front of our mats in a comfortable seat. Inhaling those hands to our heart center and taking a moment to set an intention. Embodying this intention right here, right now. Begin to deepen and align with your breath, allowing it to be the guide as we move through the practice today. On our next inhale, inhaling those arms up high. Exhale, allowing those arms and the energy to fall to the sides. Inhale, rising those arms back up. Exhale, releasing them back down. Inhale, rising, pulling those energy back up. Exhale, pulling the hands down to the heart. Breathing here. The next inhale inhales those arms up high one more time. And the exhale brings those arms down towards the earth. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, arms fall to the earth. Inhale, rising those arms one more time as the exhale pulls the hands and the energy down into your heart. Inhale, rise those arms up, and on that exhale, twisting over to your right side. With that right hand palm facing up on the outer edge of that left knee, engaging the core and twisting with that core coming into the upper spine here. Stay with that breath and continue to lengthen the spine here. The next inhale inhales those arms back up to center. As the exhale twists us over to the right. Left hand on the outer edge of the right knee, palm facing up, just as we did on the other side. A beautiful, engaged, supported core as we twist here. Continuing to breathe. That next inhale inhales those arms up high, and the exhale pulls the hands and the energy down into our hearts. Breathing here. And we'll bring those hands in front of us as we make our way into a tabletop position. Those wrists directly under those shoulders, knees right below those hips, hip width distance. That inhale pulls the heart forward as the exhale rounds us into the upper back. If there's any organic movement, feel free to find that. Otherwise, on that next inhale, inhale the spine long, lift the heart. Exhale, rounding back into cat. Inhale, extending and lifting forward. Exhale, rounding everything back. Tuck those toes and lift those sit bones high as we make our way into a downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet if you need, and then making your way to stillness as we press the hands into the mat and extend that spine out long. Lift those sit bones up as we extend the heels down towards the earth. Breathing here. A beautiful, life-giving breath. And then bending those knees as we hop or step those feet to the front of the mat, coming into a forward fold. The next inhale inhales us to that halfway lift as the exhale releases us back to the earth. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhaling into that gentle back extension. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, pull the hands and the energy back into the heart. Inhale, rise those arms up. As we exhale, lead with the heart forward fold. Inhale to that halfway lift, extending through the crown of the head. Exhale, releasing down. So we root those hands and make our way back into a high plank here. Moving through Chaturanga, inhaling upward facing dog. Staying here for a breath. And the next exhale brings us back into downward facing dog. Extending that spine, lifting those sit bones to the ceiling as we root the heels down towards the earth. Continuing to breathe here. The next inhale inhales that right leg up. Coming into the hip here as we keep those shoulders rooted and the foot falls over to the left side. Bringing that leg back to extended. As we slowly and controlled bring the knee forward. Placing the foot between the hands. And on an inhale, inhale those arms up into a crescent lunge or a high lunge here. Making sure that the knee is directly over the ankle here in that right leg. Lifting up through the spine. With a beautiful steady breath. As we exhale those hands back to the earth, send that right foot back to meet the left. High plank. Shift the weight forward, moving through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Rooting those feet back down, lift those sit bones up high, extend that spine long. Be with the breath for a few moments here. And then that next inhale inhales that left leg up, opening the hip, let the foot fall over the body. Keep those shoulders both rooted. Straightening that leg back out, bringing that knee forward and setting the foot down between the hands at the front of the mat. And when you're ready, on an inhale, inhale, rising up, making sure that that front knee is over the ankle here, not beyond, really supporting our joints. Lifting that spine up nice and tall as we extend through the back heel. On an exhale, exhaling those hands to the earth, sending the left leg back, high plank, moving through chaturanga. Inhale to that upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pressing those hands into the mat, extending that spine nice and long. Bending those knees and gently bringing those feet forward or walking them forward to the front of the mat. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, releasing down. That next inhale rises up tall. As the exhale, we shift the hips forward into a gentle back extension. Inhale back to center. Exhale, pulling everything down into the heart. Breathing here. Can release those hands to the side. Make our way to the length of our mat. Taking those legs out nice and wide here. We can allow the toes to point out to the side as we make our way into a goddess pose. So coming into a nice bend, bringing the knees over the ankles. And we can come into a twist here as we bring the left hand to the inside of that left thigh, rotating that shoulder down towards the earth. Breathing here. Inhaling back up as we prepare to switch sides. So that right hand pushing into the inside of that right thigh as we bring that shoulder down towards the earth. Breathing here. Inhale back up to center. And let's bring those hands to the heart, making sure to gently tuck that tailbone underneath. Staying with that beautiful steady breath as we hold this goddess pose. Taking a moment to return to that intention if it's left you. When we bring movement into the body, quite often our intention leaves. That next inhale inhales us back to straight legs here. Go ahead, widen the stance a bit, bringing the hands to the hips. As we inhale, lift the heart and extend forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Releasing those hands down to the mat. Letting everything hang here for a few breaths. And then we'll root that left hand directly underneath the face, and on an inhale, we'll inhale that right arm up. Making sure to really extend out through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine as we move into this twist. Keeping that core nice and engaged, supporting the spine here. The next exhale exhales that right hand down to the earth, and the inhale inhales that left arm up. Once again, extending nice and long through the crown of the head, engaging the core, twisting here. That next exhale exhales, releases the hand back down to the earth, coming to that forward fold. We can bring the hands to the hips here for just a moment, and then clasping the hands at the small of the back, coming into a shoulder opener as we let the arms fall over the head here. making sure to be rooted in the outer edges of the feet, nice and supported in that base. Breathing here. The next inhale, we're going to inhale to that halfway lift. We'll release those hands, bring them to the hips as we inhale, rising up here. Can toe heel those feet closer together and make our way back to the front of our mats. Bringing those feet wide, toes out as we come into a yogi squat here. Slowly lowering the hips down towards the earth, and if it feels right, you can bring the elbows to the insides of the thighs, pressing into those hips a bit more. Lift those hips up a bit so we keep those legs nice and engaged here. And stay with that beautiful steady breath and continue to embody your intention. Then we'll bring the hands behind us as we slowly lower our bottom down to the earth and make our way into boat pose. Lifting those knees up and those feet up off of the earth, the hands extending out towards the front of the mat. If you need to, you can take the hands to the insides of the thighs for a little more support, or right underneath the knees. To make this more of a core workout, pull those legs a little bit further away from the body. Engage the core, keep that beautiful extended spine here, and breathe. Slowly release the feet to the earth and bring the hands behind you, fingers pointed towards the body as we inhale into a reverse tabletop here. A beautiful steady inhale and a beautiful steady exhale. The next exhale releases our bottom to the earth as we make our way down onto our bellies. We can bring the hands to the sides of the body as we press the tops of the feet into the earth. And on an inhale, we'll inhale, lift everything up. Lifting the chest, lifting the feet. And as much as we're going for length, for a lift here in the spine, we also want to lengthen out. So the body is becoming long from the crown of the head all the way out the toes. Breathing here, keeping that gaze down towards the earth as to not bend the neck. Releasing everything down, setting one cheek on the earth. So we take a breath here. Preparing for a second round, we'll clasp the hands at the small of the back this time, and on an inhale, lifting everything up. Once again, keeping that gaze down towards the earth. Really breathing here. If you find it's hard to breathe, lower down a bit, as the breath is incredibly important in each and every pose, in each and every practice. And then release everything back to the earth, coming to the other cheek. And let it all go here. And for the final round, bending those feet, bending those knees, and reaching back for the feet or the ankles as we inhale up into a bow. And if this feels like too much for you today, continue with one of the variations that we just did. Staying with that beautiful steady breath and continuing to embody that intention that you set for your practice. And that next exhale releases everything down as we bring the knees wide and the toes to touch, and we make our way back into a child's pose, extending those arms out long in front of us. Forehead coming to the mat. Breathing here. The next inhale inhales us forward. And you can come down on the belly or roll down over onto the back as we prepare for Supta Baddha Konasana. We bring the soles of the feet together as the knees fall wide. Allowing gravity to assist in those hips opening. Breathing into the hips here. Next inhale, inhales those knees up as we bring the knees into the chest. Coming into a supine twist, we'll allow both of those knees to fall over to the right side as we extend that left arm out long, making sure that those shoulder blades are rooted in the earth to support the spine. And let everything go into this twist for a few breaths here. The next inhale inhales the knees back to center as we exhale and allow those knees to fall over to the left side. Extending that right arm long, rooting those shoulders onto the earth, and breathing here. And then next inhale, inhales those knees back up to center, gently rocking side to side or finding small circles for the lower spine. And then we'll set that right foot on the earth as we bring the left ankle over the knee on top of the thigh, coming into figure 4. Pulling those knees towards the body here, breathing into the hips. Keeping the feet flexed to support the knee joint. And on an exhale, releasing that down as we switch sides, bringing the right ankle to the top of the left thigh or knee. Clasping the hands just below the knee as we pull those knees in towards the body. Breathing into that hip. Keeping those feet flexed, supporting the knees. And the next exhale releases the feet down towards the earth, and we'll gently windshield wiper those knees from one side to the other. As we prepare to make our way into Shavasana. Extending those legs out long, let the hips fall open, the feet fall to the sides. Rolling the shoulder blades underneath the body, extending the arms out long with the palms facing up. Releasing the breath and letting ourselves root down and let go into the earth below. Letting go of all of the muscles in the feet, the calves, the shins, behind the knees and around the knees. Letting go of the muscles in the thighs and the quads. Letting go of the muscles in the groin, the hips, the abdomen, the side body, across the chest, the shoulders, all the way down the arms to the fingertips. Letting go of the muscles of the neck, the jaw, the tongue, around the cheeks, the eyes, the forehead, and all the way down the scalp. Completely releasing, completely letting go to this moment right here, right now. Extending those arms above the head, a nice full body stretch as we make our way onto one side, returning to that comfortable seat. And when you're ready, bringing the hands to the heart at a point of balance. Taking a moment to gently bow down to that God being within you, within all things. Inhaling those hands up to the third eye center, bringing balance to our point of clarity, bringing the hands to the lips, bringing balance to our words, and balance to our truth. And then bringing those hands down to the heart, bringing balance in our love and balance in our heart. And from this place of balance within me, I recognize, honor, and appreciate the teacher, the light, and the divine within each of you and all things. Namaste.